Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the Porsche 718, the Cayman GT4 at Hungaroring for yet another track guide. Now, if you want to race this exact setup, all you need to do is click on the link in our description for our Patreon page. So we now curate setups for GT4, GT3 and P3, the production car series, and a whole host of other things if you want to check it out. And it is Gianni Lutzu behind the wheel if you want to get coaching from one of the best and fastest guys on iRacing. There is also a link to his website, Lutzu Driver Performance. He's the guy that took me from 1200 to 5.5k. So yeah, let's do it and let's start the hot lap. Okay, so here we are smashing it down the main straight, looking for our entry to turn one, which is going to be at about the 150 marker, although there isn't actually one on the left hand side. You brake up to about 65%, long trail off after quite a long hold at peak pressure for that corner. Head over to the right hand side, and it's just at the start of this curbing on the brakes at about 55%. Again, second gear corner, back on the gas. We're going to head over to the left hand side so we can whip back in, change up to fourth, cut that corner, exit nice and wide, no further over to the left than Johnny did there. We're going to start a little dab on the brakes at this curb or at the little white line. I'll show you in the breakdown. Down to third gear, inside, braking up to about 60%, and again long trail off on the gas up in third gear so that you exit nice and wide. Going to be braking at these curbs once again for the chicane, down to second gear on the gas, little lift on exit as you'll see. Now lightly on the brakes at about 40%, down to third gear, back over to the left hand side, lightly on the brakes again, picking it back up in third. Head over to the right hand side, little lift as we go through there. Now back on the curbs, down to third gear, back on the gas. Going to be braking just after the 100 board here, and again on the brakes it's about 65%, down to second gear, just clipping that apex. Head over to the right hand side now as we get to the corner, or sorry, the curbs on the right hand side. That's when we start the braking. Long trail off, back on the gas in second gear, real patient. And now Marshall's hut, final little bit of braking, 35%, long trail off, down to second gear, and now we pick straight back up on the gas. It's going to send you out wide. Keep the right hand tyres on the rumble strip, and over and across he goes in a 152.7. Right, breakdown lap coming up next. So here we are on the breakdown lap. Now unfortunately, whilst we're braking at the 150, there is no 150 shown, but this is what it's going to look like just before you start braking, which is just now. So this is as he's first touching the brakes. Brakes up to about 70%, but then it's a slow trail off until we get almost to the Marshall's hut, and that's when he's now going to trail it off down to the corner, picking back up on the gas at the apex. Over to the right hand side. And then next braking mark is going to be just after the 100 and just before the start of the red and white curbing here on the right. And he brakes up to about 55%, and again he holds it, and that just trails it off down to picking up the gas. He's not actually really going over that curbing there. Absolutely flat as we go through three. Now we are on the brakes here at this white line that I'm currently parked on. Down to third gear, picking back up to 100% as you're actually going over that curb. So it does get a little bit slippery as you come off those curbs, but then as soon as you do and your car's settle down on the brakes straight away up to about 55-60%. Sharp trail off this time, down to third gear and picking back up where we are now, more or less when your car's facing this orange bit in front. Exit nice and wide. Now the braking for turn 6, the chicane, is going to be this curbing on the left hand side. And again, braking up to about 60%. Going to trail that off down to second gear, picking back up on the gas at the first exit. We go up to 100%, and then he's just going to do a little lift, as you can see, before getting back on the gas. Now, as we get to the start, the Rolex sign on the right hand side, the Rolex ad, that's when he just jumps on the brake. It's up to about 40%. Quick trail off down to third gear, getting back on the gas. But he's quite slow in getting back up to full power because he wants to get over to the left-hand side. And he does that so that he can just lightly dab the brakes there and get through the corner and get a better exit. Head over to the right-hand side. Now we're doing a lift. in 4th gear, back on the gas, and then as we get to this curb on the left-hand side, on the brakes briefly up to about 40%, down to 3rd gear, picking back up on the gas just ahead of the apex. It's going to send you out wide. That's fine. Next, we're going to brake just after the 100 board on the left. And he goes on the brakes up to about 65%, trails that off down to 2nd gear, picking back up on the apex. Head over to the right side. Now, once we've gone under the Heineken bridge, or the Heineken sign here, this is where we're going to go on the brakes briefly up to about 60%, and then a relatively long trail off in 2nd gear, picking back up once you can see the Heineken bridge in front of you, or sign, whatever it is. It is non-alcohol, though. Ugh. Right, over to the left-hand side, and now our last little bit of braking is going to be at this 24 Marshall's hut. And this time, only on the brakes up to about 20%, but it's a long, long trail off down to 2nd gear, picking back up on the gas as soon as you can start seeing your way around the corner. And over and across he goes. So that's the breakdown lap. We've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on.